In this video, you're going to learn 6 pregame exercises that you can use to reduce sports performance anxiety. Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, mental performance coach and founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. When you are experiencing sports performance anxiety, this is because you are worried too much about the outcome. You're worried about what's going to happen, what may or may not happen, the negative consequences that are going to come from maybe messing up, from making a mistake. And sometimes you could even be anxious about being anxious. I was working with an athlete who we kind of identified that he has become anxious of getting anxious because in the past he's known that when he gets anxious, he doesn't perform well. Whatever the reason that you are dealing with sports performance anxiety, there are certain strategies and tools that you can use which will help. So exercise number 1 is to remember past successes. Building confidence is one of the best ways that you can reduce sports performance anxiety. To build confidence, you need to be thinking about times when you've done well, right? Especially right before a game. Remembering past successes helps you do that. What you want to do right before the game begins or as the game is starting is fill your mind with times when you have succeeded. All those really good games you've had, all those really good plays you've made, maybe some achievements you've gotten, some awards you've won. By remembering past successes, that is going to increase your confidence in that moment, and by increasing your confidence, you're going to reduce your anxiety. Exercise number 2 is to create a specific self-talk routine. Self-talk refers to what you think and what you say to yourself. Now, before a game, this is probably going to be more about what you think. You can say it to yourself out loud, but if you have your teammates around, unless you're a lot different than me, I wouldn't have wanted to be saying some self-talk statements and repeating them out loud. Much safer to have them going on in my mind. But either way, it's about what you're saying to yourself. If you're dealing with sports performance anxiety, you want to make sure that, number 1, just like I just said with the exercise of remembering past successes, you want to make sure that your self-talk routine is boosting confidence. So you say things like, I trust in myself. I know I'm a great player. I've worked hard and now it's time to show it, right? With your self-talk, you want to make sure that it is increasing your confidence. But also what you can do is use your self-talk to calm yourself down. Because whenever you experience anxiety, right, you're very nervous. Your heart's racing. So you can say things like, I am calm. It's going to be okay. I can't wait to get out there and play. By talking to yourself more deliberately, right? Thinking outside of the game, right? So you're going to make yourself a list and think, what could I say to myself to build my confidence? And what could I say to myself to calm myself down? And only you know yourself best. So you're going to know what those statements are going to be. Write them down, read them over, get them memorized, and then repeat them to yourself as you go into the game. Exercise number 3 is to set a clear definition of success. One of the main causes of performance anxiety is trying to control an uncontrollable. And one of the main uncontrollables you'll face as an athlete is the outcome of a performance. As much as we wish it was in our control, outcomes are not in our control as an athlete. What is in your control is the process. And that's where this clear definition of success comes into play. For your definition of success, you want to identify what is it going to mean for me to play well today. Don't make it based on the outcome, make it based on approach. Make it based on focusing on an attitude. Make it based on focusing on your mechanics. Not analyzing your mechanics, but just saying, all right, today I want to make sure I stay low in my defensive stance. I stay balanced at the plate, right? I watch the ball hit the racket. All of those small definitions of success are really going to help you take your attention off of the outcome, bring it onto the process. And it's that way of removing your attention on the result and on worrying about what's going to happen, bring it more into the present moment. That's going to then reduce your performance anxiety. Exercise number 4 is to focus on your breathing. When you are experiencing performance anxiety, like I said earlier, your heart's racing, right? Your hands are shaking. You might feel a little dizzy. What you can do physiologically to help calm yourself down is to control your breath. Take a few deep breaths, but don't just take some deep breaths. Do some count breathing. This is a specific form of deep breaths where you're going to breathe in for a certain number, breathe out for a certain number. I love breathing in for 5, breathing out for 10. There's also box breathing, where you breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, then breathe out for a count of 4, hold that, exhale for a count of 4. When you do count breathing, number 1, it's going to slow your heart rate down. It's taking more control of your breathing, and that's going to help reduce that anxiety from a physiological level. But also, when we're thinking about your focus is really what's driving this anxiety because you're worried about what's going to happen, right? You're thinking about the future. You're thinking about the outcomes. When you can take your attention and put it onto the numbers, right? So you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. That removes your attention from the outcome. So you are calming yourself down by slowing down your breath, but then you're also reducing anxiety because you're controlling your attention. Exercise number 5 is to focus on gratitude. Now I know being grateful and trying to dominate the competition, they don't really seem like they mix. But if you are struggling with performance anxiety, I'm going to doubt that you're really dominating the competition right now anyway. So you need a way to get yourself a little bit more back to neutral, feeling a little bit better so you can go out there and show them who you are, right? Perform up to the level you know that you're capable of. When you practice gratitude, the reason that this helps you reduce anxiety is because you can't be grateful and anxious at the same time, because you're grateful in the present moment, you're anxious in the future, you're anxious about the future, right? By practicing gratitude, all you have to do is say things like, I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to play. I'm grateful that I get to be out here with my teammates. I'm grateful that I'm a starter. You don't have to make anything up. You're saying things that you probably honestly are grateful for, but you're focusing on them. So once again, it's taking your focus and your attention off of the outcome, putting it more onto the present moment, but also it's switching your mindset. It's switching your mindset from one of worry to one of gratitude, where you're just saying, I really am grateful to be able to play. And that brings us into exercise number 6. Focus on having fun. Focus on what you enjoy about your sport. When you're experiencing anxiety, you're worrying about the future. And that means that you're basing your joy and why you play on the outcome. Now, I know there are very few athletes who are going out there saying, I don't care what happens. I don't care if I win. Of course you want to win. But once again, if anxiety is getting in the way and keeping you from winning, you have to figure out a way of kind of manipulating yourself into enjoying the process a little bit more, so then you can enjoy the outcome, because the outcome's not going to be what you wanted if you're worried too much about the outcome. By focusing more on what you enjoy, so getting very specific too, saying, this is what I enjoy about my sport, and looking for it. If you look for it, you're going to find it. You're going to find reasons why you can enjoy yourself. Just like if you keep looking for reasons to be anxious, you're going to find reasons to be anxious. But by focusing more on joy, you're going to have more fun. Likely, you're probably going to play better, and that's going to then reduce your performance anxiety as well. So put these 6 pregame exercises into practice. Don't try to do all of them, right? Maybe just pick 1 or 2, try them out. If they work, great. If they don't work, try something else. But figure out what's going to be the best strategy for you to use to reduce performance anxiety. And speaking of a strategy, what also helps a lot is getting comfortable with all of these and then just trying them out during that day, right? One of the athletes I'm working with, he's a basketball player, and we've gotten 3 or 4 different tools that he uses. Some days his self-talk works better than others. Sometimes it's more about focusing on his objectives, his performance objectives, so his definition of success. For you, get comfortable with these exercises and apply them. That's where they're going to have the impact on your game, when you apply them. If you don't apply them, knowing them is not going to do anything. But apply them to your game, that's going to help reduce your sports performance anxiety. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of success in all that you do. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We put out new videos each week on sports psychology and mental training. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about one-on-one mental performance coaching, head over to successstartswithin.com.